Welcome to Soul Sync.
Welcome to Soul Sync.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
So today, y'all are getting us rambling, okay? Taylor and I, we originally started just catching up, but we were having such a good conversation that we started recording, and we've just went everywhere and anywhere, but in the best way. And it really all lines up in the point of you meet everybody for a reason. And you have to trust your intuition every single step of the way because everything is happening for a reason. So, we talked about so many different experiences and angles of perspectives that you can have, especially in terms of people that loved you, but also people that hurt you. So, keep listening because you're going to get some juicy tea out of this one. Okay, so we're talking about Yaima, which is this singer that Taylor and Ava had introduced me to, and she's absolutely changed my life. So, Taylor, what were you just saying to catch up our listeners?
I was saying I keep trying to introduce Yaima to people like so much because she's just like groundbreaking. Her music, you just like feel in every cell of your body. And people are just like, okay, like, yeah, listen to her, like, whatever. But I'm like, no, listen to her, like, now, like, yesterday, listen to her. She is so amazing. Like, just have her on in the background. It's like spiritual medicine.
Oh my God. And that's exactly what I do too. So, like, literally in the airplane, I was listening to her the whole time because I had nothing else downloaded. So, I was like listening to her when I slept, which was so fucking relaxing. But what I was going to tell you about was when I was doing yoga and that song came on. First of all, it wasn't The Sacred. I'm sorry. I totally thought it was. It was actually called Rebirth, which I thought was even more like powerful. Do you know that one?
Yes, I love that one.
Oh Okay, first of all, I heard that song come on and I literally looked at Michaela, said, "It's Ava," and started crying. Like
Oh my God.
straight up. And then I could just like that song, it was just so powerful. And we did. So I was just at a retreat in Bali and we did a ton of different excursions and people had different breakthroughs at different ones. And I'm not going to lie, mine was late because we were there since Monday. Well, I got there on Sunday, so I had an extra day too. And this was on Thursday. So my breakthrough was like pretty late. And I was like, you know what? I think that the yoga is going to be the one for me. Like, that's what I kept telling Michaela. I was like, yeah, my body really likes movement. It's always been the thing that like really connects me and
Mhm.
grounds me. So this is gonna be my thing. So when that song came on, oh my God, it was just like it was insane. I don't even know how to explain it, honestly. But like I just started seeing her in my fucking head and like she just like her smile, like
Oh,
I'm not sure if you know what I'm talking about because I never saw that. Like when I met her, she didn't even smile that big. So I'm assuming it's like only like a laughter or whatever that like you could understand.
mhm.
Um, but same outfit and pretty much everything. And then I just like felt her like moving my body because I was getting a little in my head, when you're doing so much shadow work, and this is something Michaela talks about. She's like, the shadows come up and you don't really notice until it happens. But I was getting insecure because like I was doing lunges and my knees have kind of been bothering me. So with all the travel, I was like struggling and I was like, oh, how am I going to struggle with this? Like I'm a fucking fitness coach? So then I like felt her like moving me through and I felt more powerful and I started to do the poses just like correctly. I let go of the pressure. Dude, like I literally let go of the pressure and it was just so magical. I was crying throughout like the whole thing. And Michaela was
Girl.
like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Oh my God. I would have been crying too, first of all. And it's just wild because like that's what she would do. She would teach restorative yoga and she would always put on Yaima. And she was the one that introduced me to her and all of her spiritual music she like shared with me. And it was just like the most beautiful stuff. But her restorative yoga, she would go around and correct you and like
Yep.
obviously like push you like a little deeper. But because she was studying to be a massage therapist, she started incorporating massage into it too. So once you were in like a certain pose, she would come and like massage certain parts of your body. And oh my God, it was like the most unreal yoga ever. Every time she did it, it was such like a beautiful experience. So I knew I had a feeling she would come through with massage also for one of us. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, not massage for yoga because that was her, that was her first love. She was a yogi at heart
Mhm.
and she wanted to share that with the world and she
Love
did. And I'm so happy she's still doing that. That was when you told me that, I seriously like it was like full chills throughout my whole body. I was like, "Yes, that makes so much sense."
I literally voice audioed you. We went from the yoga studio. So after it was done, I went up to the guy and I was like, okay, this might sound nuts, but have you ever heard of like someone coming to you through, hello, boo me?
Fumi's like, "Yes, I have." Well, yes, I have.
Sorry to your ears if that hurt you. But I was like, have you ever heard of somebody coming to you through yoga? And he was like, I had a feeling you were going through like something was happening. He was like, I could tell with the way that you were moving. He was like, you were so authentic. And I was like, oh, how'd you know that was my intention this
Oh,
trip? I
yeah.
just remember I really just wanted to figure out who I was,
Mhm.
like who I wanted to be. And I loved that version of me in Bali. So like it lit and I truly feel like was a rebirth like trip for me. So he goes, I could tell you were going through something. And I was like, yeah, my best friend, she just recently lost her best friend. And I was like, I know it's weird, but she had already came to me like through a dream. So I just felt her there and like I felt her like moving with me. And I was like, have you heard of that? And he was just like, I wouldn't not believe it, And he was like, it does like very powerful, like magical things. And I was like, oh my God. And then like they're just so nice. So he gave me like a big hug and he was like, good luck on your journey. Like, I know this is only the beginning for you. And I was like, thank you so much. So I literally go from that, run to the coffee shop, don't even put in my order. And I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. And I went and I audioed you.
Oh my
And that's when I
gosh.
told you. Yeah. So I literally like ran directly to wherever I could and just I had to tell you, it was just like, go tell Taylor, like right now. So
Oh my
I
god.
listened. Thank God we had Wi-Fi. The
Yeah,
universe worked
seriously.
out.
I love that so much. Seriously, that recording, like, I saved it. It's, like, everything. Like and you could just hear it in your voice too. You were just like, "This was, like, the most incredible experience," and I'm just
So
really
glad.
happy she's coming through for you and you got to have that experience because it probably felt a little like, what it her classes would feel like in real life, in person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, for listeners, I know we didn't really cover Ava that much yet, so I'm like a little bit in the dark with this, but there's gonna be like a whole episode on her. She deserves a whole ass podcast episode.
Yeah.
Um, but basically, she was my best friend in Costa Rica. We did everything together and she transitioned to the next life. So until we meet again, Miss Ava. But I got really lucky that Sammy was able to meet her before she passed away because I always said, like, I know they're gonna get along so nicely. And like I wanted to, like all of us to hang out and all of us to just kind of like, vibe together. But I love to hear that that's still happening. You know what I mean? Like soul sisters were being serious. Like it's soul sisters. It's not just on this realm, people. It's all different ones.
Aw.
So I'm really glad you had that experience and I'm really thankful for that.
I know, me too, especially because like I always felt like Ava was such a big part of us, like even starting this podcast in the first place. Because think about it, like when we had the initial idea of like, let's fucking do this thing, like we had just gotten back from Costa Rica where we made a ton of breakthroughs. And, we were having that conversation when I was telling you about my first experience when she came to me in the dream. So
Yeah.
it's like she's been here all along being like, okay, we're going this way and this way and
Oh
this
my god, I love that.
and Michaela goes, maybe she's just like one of your spirit guides now. Like she probably really wants to like keep in touch with Taylor or something. Like she's had that happen before.
Mhm.
So she was like, maybe like she's just a spirit guide for right now, you know? So I was like,
Totally.
well, I could certainly use one of those, you know, and especially my first like major one that's like repetitive and like just means so much. I'm
Mhm.
pretty honored.
Oh
So
my god, I love that. Also, it's wild because her birthday is in 3 days. She would have been turning 21 this year.
she's a baby. Oh my
I
God, I did not think
know.
that she was that young.
She didn't act
Oh,
young.
that hurts my heart. I didn't know
I
that.
know. She was an old soul for sure.
Oh
Or she is
yeah, I
old.
totally thought she was like our age, if not like a little older.
Yeah.
And especially with all her tattoos too, 'cause she was tatted. So it's like
Oh,
you put in some work over those years. You know how long it took
yep.
me to get my sleeve? Like that was like a 2.5 year process. So
Mhm. Oh my god, that was, like, the first thing that attracted me to her. I was like, "Oh my god, I love your tattoos." She had the coolest tattoos ever.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Girl, you my bitch." I could already tell, literally just from, like, first glance, and I told her that too. I was like actually, I said that to her all the time. I was like, "From the first time I saw you, I was like, 'That's my girl right there.'" But for real, like, spirit or something was just pulling me towards her for, like, so
Oh.
many reasons, and it's wild when you look back and you realize why, you know, like, it all just makes sense.
I mean, I feel like just everybody needs somebody like you. You know, I know that we also talked about that where it was like you were just that person that showed her like that unconditional love. And like that's kind of something I realized in Bali. I know Michaela talked a lot about the culture and the values. And it's so beautiful to see, but not a lot of people get to experience that often enough, you know?
Mhm.
So I feel like anyone who has you in their life is just the luckiest person, you know, because they get to feel that. Like you are so in there, like swimwear with everyone in your life. Like they matter. Okay. Is that like a SpongeBob metaphor? Because I was trying. I was trying
I
to get it.
love you so much.
I don't
I
think it
don't
was.
know.
I think that's more like a TikTok metaphor. Anyways.
I don't know if it could be SpongeBob, but I say it all the time, so honestly, it could have just been from some dumb shit in my head.
But
But oh my
seriously,
god.
you're there for people, like, in the best fucking way. So, I'm very happy she got to experience that, you know?
Girl, I love you so much. And I seriously like I do feel like that kind of was my purpose to be there for her like during her last couple months. Every person that comes into your life is there for a specific reason and it's never an accident. It's never the wrong time. It's always like divine timing and things that like
Mhm.
you needed to learn to carry on with your journey and I really do feel like she was there to teach me so much about spirituality and so much about love and friendship, and she was just, like, full of love and light. So it's, like, one of those things, yeah, where it's, like, you meet each other and it's just an instant connection, and instantly you're like, "I know you're gonna teach me something about myself." And I'm already grateful to know you. And that's how I felt when I met you too, girl. Let's not forget that first time at sunset. I know we already talked about it on here, but
Oh,
sometimes you just don't forget things. Like that is a monumental moment for me. That one conversation where we were just so vulnerable, and I was like, "Girl, I don't even know you. I just met you," and we're like just spilling our deep shit. You know what I mean?
we were going in, but
Yeah.
you were that person for me too, you know? Like, I needed you, and you had, like it brings me to tears just because like, I've released so much of this in Bali, but, like, you have no idea how much I needed you. And like kind of the same with Tom, you know? Like you guys totally saved me. Like when I was like with Voldemort and like could not get out of my situation. And then even after that, when I was like trapped in my jobs and trapped in my life, and I was like, oh my God, I'm just so miserable, you know? Like it was you and you know Tom did a lot as well to get me out and me as well. Got to give myself a ton of the credit there too.
Mhm.
But Yeah, those moments are so powerful to me too. And that's what I told Tom. I'm like, I'm always so grateful for sunset because like I met you guys. Like both of you guys just so pivotal. Both of you guys at my job.
Isn't that amazing? Like how
But
much we didn't like it, but also it's like if we didn't do that, like where would we be
yeah.
today,
And we all have like the horror stories, like the love of horror stories. But you know what it is like working at a restaurant. It's like that is you have to have some thick motherfucking skin.
Mhm.
Okay. And you got stories for days. But I agree, it was so worth it every single point. And I think also think about where we were by the water. I used to love watching the sunsets every single night. So it's
Mhm.
also just it was such a magical place as well. The
Yeah.
location.
And those types of things, like, you never see coming usually, you know? Like, it's such a simple, like, "Oh, I'm just getting a serving job," you know? Like, you don't think anything magical is gonna come from it. You don't think anything at all. You're just like, "Yeah, I'll just get a serving job for the summer and, like, whatever. I'll just suck it up." Like, whatever. And then it's like, the way things unfold sometimes are just so magical and so beautiful that you just can't even help but stop and be like, "What the fuck? Where did that come
Mhm.
from?" Like, "What?" So, yeah, no one meets by accident. No 2
Mhm.
souls meet each other on their path for no reason. So, I don't know. I just think everything's such divine timing. It's like, what is there ever to really, worry about?
I totally agree. I totally agree. And I feel like that's what I loved about Bali because all the people like were just so in the moment. Everybody, you would loved it. Rode around on scooters. Okay. That was the main form of transportation. And there were statues everywhere. Like the temples were beautiful. I'm so excited to go back. I was showing pictures to Tom and he was like, wow, like that's really cool. But there's statues that are just decorated. They're so colorful. And then people give them offerings. So it's these little like square cardboard containers, and then they'll put flowers, herbs, maybe some coins. Um, there were cakes in some of them,
Oh my
leaves.
god.
I'm trying to like picture it as I describe it, but it was
Mhm.
just so fucking beautiful. And like I have so many pictures I can show you. But the way of life is just so different. All the stray cats and dogs had collars. Like all of them were fed and very well taken care of. Very different from Costa Rica. Like I love Costa Rica. I feel like they also very much so took care of their animals, but it was like these were just they were so free, you know, their
Mhm.
fur looked so great. So the intention that they put into their everyday and just how nice they were, oh my god, everyone was the nicest person ever. It was awesome. So it was a very 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 good experience there, and I feel like that was something I really needed in my life. I needed that representation.
Mhm. I love that.
Mhm.
Sometimes those experiences open our eyes to so much about, like, our daily lives, and, like,
Mhm.
it just shakes up every perspective we have on things.
Yes.
So I love that you had that experience.
Well, I feel
Oh,
like you got that in Costa Rica. Like I was literally feeling like Bali was my version of just living like you did in Costa Rica because they had so many characteristics. Because I feel like Costa Rica was also so spiritual as well.
mhm,
So there were like so many characteristics that I loved about both of them. So I really felt like I was like, oh, like this is what Taylor felt like, you know, when you were just
mhm.
able to flow free and just do all these fun spiritual activities, you know, like we got massages, we were in the pool, we went to like this sound bath ritual where you like laid in a hammock
Ooh,
right by the water and like did yoga, went to the gym. It was awesome. It was like the best motherfucking week of my life.
I love that. Oh my god. And it's such, like, simple things, but they're really just,
Yeah.
like, that important, you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Going
It's
in the ocean, I know that was one that was, like, huge for you in Costa Rica, like, that felt so freeing, like the waves hitting you. It was like, take away my shit. I'm having fun, it was so fun.
Oh my God, I bet you released so much in that ocean. Like
I bet
that's
so too.
oh, that's so
Especially
beautiful.
because Michaela made a good point, and it's like the waves are hitting your sacral chakra, and that's what holds a lot of like your self-esteem, your confidence, how you feel about yourself, your stuff like that, like
Mhm.
very womb energy. And
Yeah.
she's like, that helps clear that out. The waves are literally thundering it. And these waves were the biggest waves I've ever seen, for sure. They were huge. I was scared at one point. I was like, don't take me because I don't know. I've seen way too many people go under, and then I'm like, I'm going this way. You saw how I was in Costa Rica. I don't go too far out, but I go far out. But I have to be able to touch, non negotiable.
That's fair. That's totally fair. It can be scary. You don't know
It
what's under there.
can.
Mhm.
And they're just so big, and I'm so tiny. So I'm like, this ocean could totally eat me if it wanted to.
Mm.
Like 100%. Because it takes you out, and then you're like, how the fuck did I get over here?
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. Especially if you get caught in like the riptide or something. You're
Yes.
out there.
Oh my gosh, I absolutely love our conversations because I feel like it could be very easy to take the people that you love for granted, and just talking about these experiences and like how we've met people for a reason, and even talking about those first initial meetups, still getting those feelings. It just reminds you that people that give you that kind of connection and love and support can come in at any time. Like literally
Mm.
at any time, the universe can come in and be like, boop, bless you with the Taylor, and you'll be like, thank you, universe, some more, please. So I feel like that was another really big lesson that I learned in Bali, was to really rejoice in what I have done, and really rejoice in the blessings that I am receiving, and really give love and water all the friendships and relationships in my life right now. Because lately, the past like year, I did so much up leveling between like moving and starting my business, hitting all my travel goals that I hit and more. I was very busy. I was always doing something, so getting to just be so grateful and sit down and be like, wow, that's what I
Mhm.
did. That's how I felt. I just came home having such a really big appreciation for you, and big appreciation for Tom, my pets for sure. Holy shit. And I think everybody needs that reminder, and that's what calls in more of what you're looking for.
Oh my God, I love that, girl. Yeah, sometimes it takes like being pulled out
Mhm.
to be able to see in more clearly and see what we have so we can be grateful for that. I
Mhm.
think it's also super important to talk about like the negative people that we've connected with in our lives too. Like you and I, we have some exes that literally, I love how you said Voldemort before. I was dying because literally, he who shall not be fucking named.
I
Yep.
refuse to say his name.
Yeah.
Refuse. That's how much I believe in energy. There is
Mhm.
none. No exchange.
Yeah, no, we cut that tie, cut that cord. He is gone, long gone. But that also comes into play with like, we have to also be grateful that they were in our lives because of what they taught us when they were. And through all of the bad they put us through and all the bad they did, there was so much good that came out of it after the fact? And I think that's a big release in forgiving people and really being able to cut that cord and be like, okay, I forgive you for everything you've done. Like, even though it's like painful to be like, okay, you put me through hell, but I deeply forgive you because you're just a soul on your journey also. And like we had a contract together and this just had to happen for me to be the person I am today. So it's like you can't even help but be grateful that they came into your life when they did and they treated you the way that they did because, then you wouldn't have set that certain standard. Then you would have looked for love in different places and everything would have been different. And it's just like really incredible that even the bad energy, maybe just like low vibrational people, can also play such an important and beautiful role in your journey. So, yeah, that's something once you come to terms with in your past, it's the most amazing release ever. So, we both had to do that for a
Mhm.
couple people.
I
But
absolutely love that.
right,
That was beautiful.
thank you.
You're welcome. And I don't know, like everything that you were talking about made me think of like one thing that I've done is now that I've healed, I try not to just talk about it anymore. I
Mm,
think a lot of times, especially when people that we've had experiences with in the past, it's so easy to talk bad about them. It's easy to go blab on what they did to you and how they did it. And I really just don't talk about them, like I just keep it to myself because you're absolutely right. Like we had that soul contract. We were meant to meet them. And I like to think of it as I hope I made you a better person.
mhm,
No matter how we ended, how bad one can say you treat the other. I hope that with the next person, you're a better person. I used to say that about myself as a way to kind of like heal my journey because I definitely feel like I met people to help heal them for the person that like they are meant to be with. And that was something we
100%.
used to say. And I always really did want that for every single person that I didn't work out with, And I'm so grateful because if I didn't want that for them, I don't think I would have manifested somebody like Tom, because he's like a ride or dyer. Like he's like, we'll talk about everything and anything and like work through it fucking all. And some people just don't do that. And that's okay. But that just means they're not for you. And the people who
Mhm.
are like you, Taylor, like you taught me that. You were like, no, like I'm through it all with you. And you used to have to tell me that. Be like, I'm so sorry. I'm telling you all my tea. You'd be like, no, no, I'm here for you. So I think it's also important to remember that like you're leaving just as much of an imprint on them as they are you.
100%. Oh my God, I love that. It is like our contribution to the world at the same time. It's like if
Mm.
you can affect one person, and like change their beliefs, even if they did hurt you, like they're a human being just like we are. Like people make mistakes, people come from hurt places, and it's like the more healed you are, the more you're able to see that. And
Mhm.
it's like most of the time they are just hurting and they don't know how to communicate properly or treat people correctly. It's just like it all comes from a certain place and we all just come from the same source,
Mhm.
So it's like, let's get back to love, people. If I could teach you something and you could teach someone else, and then that's how we get the ball rolling. We're just doing God's work out here. God's workout. God's
Ooh,
workout?
I like I like that a lot.
Shit. I know. I'm like, I just pictured God like fucking, like doing
Flexing.
yeah, like with dumbbells.
Oh my gosh, you're making me fall in love. But I love this conversation. I feel like while I was in Bali, I had asked it, like, please heal me and please just connect me to myself in a much deeper way. And everything that we just talked about in terms of like how beautiful it was meeting everybody for a reason and like how the people that just are your ride or dieters, like, love them good, because you're lucky. Okay.
Yeah.
But also truly forgiving, it was one of the most freeing things I've done for myself. And I think the number one thing I had to do is, like you said, just surrender.
Hmm.
Surrender to knowing what it has to happen or how it's going to happen, who is going to think what, who's going to affect what. Just focus on you and your sole purpose. And it's just going to unfold as it may. And it's going to unfold really well for you because you did surrender.
100%.
So I feel like this was just so deja vu to all the realizations I had in Bali. I had to point that out.
I love that. Oh my God.
Mhm.
Oh, See, everything happens for a reason. Oh,
Good energy. I missed you.
girl, I missed you. See, this is what we're talking about, people. You don't meet anyone by accident, girl. I needed you for so many reasons. But also like you have those people in your life that are your angels while you're walking through earth, and while you're on this realm. And you're definitely one of them for me. And it's just like one of those people. Well, you girl, you know that. Like definitely like we have such a soul bond, and it would be almost a disservice not to talk about Tyler right now, but it's a-okay. Um, but again, one of those people you don't meet for no reason, like, and you just connect, and it's just something that like you can't even put into words, and you're like, I know you're here to teach me something. And the fact that he's already like taught me so much, and we've only been dating for like a couple days, probably.
Wait, you did not tell me that.
Yeah, I mean, he asked me to be his girlfriend probably like 3 days ago.
You go, girl! Why did you not
Yeah.
lead with that? Oh, I need to get caught up on the tea. Oh my God, I'm like sweating over here. I love it. I
I'm
love it.
sweating too. Oh,
I feel the love, like literally.
you do?
Yeah, girl. I mean, I saw it all along, especially when Mark was like, go slow, go slow. I'm like, if
Yeah.
he's anything like me, it's gonna be like,
I know. That's why I was
like Top
stressing
Gun.
about it so much when he was saying go slow. I'm like, but I don't want to. I'm like, no, but it's just so perfect. But
Same.
with him
Same.
we had so many synchronicities that like we couldn't overlook, you know what I mean? And it's like when you meet those people and it's like things are just screaming at you, like the angel numbers are just like off the charts, like certain like commonalities in our lives that are just like, oh my god, how on earth like is that the same for us? So we literally met on Hinge. Like we both went on, and it was the first Hinge date both of us have ever been on. So like we only were on it to just be like, oh, whatever, like let me see. And we talked for like not even that long, and he was like, do you want to just grab coffee? Like let's just go out. Let's YOLO. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So, but the one line, like you can like someone's picture or like comment or whatever. So instead of doing that, I commented on one of his things because his name's Tyler, Tylor, and I'm Taylor. So my comment was, it was like, damn, all you're missing is my beautiful A. Like all you're missing in your life is my beautiful A. But I meant it like as
Amazing.
in like the names. But it was just so perfect. And he was like, okay. So we still joke about that so much to this day. He's like, you really like. And it's
Oh
like
my
now
God.
look at where we are. We're just like so close and we're thriving. And like I wouldn't be saying any of this if I didn't really, really believe like there was so much potential here. So the universe works in crazy ways. And we were manifesting each other, come to find out. And
Mm.
everything I wrote, how I wanted in a boyfriend, he literally just popped into human form. So
Oh my
manifesting is
God.
real, people. That's my
I love
spiel.
I love that. Well, I totally agree because so Tom and I, while I was gone, we did these like three journal prompts where I was like, okay, like this is a really good way for us to like think about like what do we want again? Because like we went and we moved out to like BlackRock, and then after BlackRock, we moved here. So it's like, okay, what do we want for like these next steps? And I had like done that same ritual because I've done that before. That's how I manifested Tom too, was I like wrote down like what the fuck do I want in a partner? Like I wrote it
Hmm.
down. And ever since I've done that, Tom has like just done randomly things that I wrote down that I haven't even fucking showed him the list yet.
Oh my
So like
God.
the flowers were literally something that I wrote down, or like we were talking about a scenario and he literally talked about like literally how I want to wake up every day. I was like, that's so crazy. Like I wrote that down, you know? So just very small things like that. But it's true. Like when you focus on what you want, it starts to manifest. So I had so much fucking fun doing this ritual. I did it literally when we were on the plane. I was so excited. I had told him like, "Oh no, it's okay. We can like do it together like when I get back," cuz we both were like thinking about it but didn't have time to actually write it. So then I was like, "No, we could do it together." But then after talking to him about it, I was like, "No, no, no. I want to do it now." So I had like so much fun and I was like thinking about like how I want two kids and a horse and like literally imagining like my bougie ass house. Like I want a really big yard for the horse, obviously. And I was like, I want a maid. Like I have OCD, but I don't like to clean. So I was like, what's the solution? I want a maid to come once a week. So I just had so much fun with this and I got so detailed. And then ever since I've been back, like one of the things I also wrote down was I was like, I want to go out to like walk somewhere every day. Like even if it's like 5 minutes away, and Tom and I today, it was a 4 minute drive and it had this like it was literally like two swings but they were huge, they were like attached to the ground and it was like a chair and we were like both swinging on it and it just felt so free and I just thought to myself I could do this every single day if I fucking wanted to, you know.
Mhm.
So doing those prompts, it just brings that version of life really into your mind and it's like wow, this is so much more feasible than I thought it was. And it was so cute because I didn't tell Tom this yet, but I had an idea. So we saw two women and they were running around. They were doing an obstacle course, right? And
Mhm.
I was like, oh, I could come here and shoot content. Like I could get a ton of workout videos or even work out myself, you know, not everything has to be for work. And I could have such a good workout here. And that's exactly what they were doing. I had a massively good idea when I was there, and it just gave me so much inspiration getting out of my everyday element, you know?
That's all it's about, inspiration. You can literally find inspiration anywhere.
Yeah.
Like anywhere.
And it makes you feel so fucking good.
It like sparks new life. I swear. So it really just goes to show you got to trust the universe and you got to just like surrender to whatever it's going to throw at you sometimes. And like, how much control do we really have at the end of the day? Not much. So, with that being said, the one thing you can control is tuning in next week to our podcast, Soul Sync. And girl, you can follow us, or boy, you can follow us on all the socials. You know, we're on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. Sammy, where can they find you at?
You can find me at Sammy Roos underscore. So that's going to be SAMIRUESS underscore.
We love that. You could find me at Taylor Bavel, Taylor BAVL. This is all Instagram. That's where the magic happens.
Always.
So, yeah, guys, thank you for listening. Tune in next week where we get to give you some more goodies and little sneak peek into what we're going through in this crazy lifetime. So, until next time, love you all.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.